Hey everybody, what's going on? It's your boy Mike. So, today's video is talking about fat loss, weight loss, toning, like having a toned body, things of that nature. Some of these are kind of like, now I will admit, some of these are clickbait terms that you hear all the time. I want to tone, I want to do this and do that. Whenever someone says they want to tone, that pretty much means they want to lose body fat percentage or body fat and actually want to increase muscle mass. However, particularly in the fitness industry, whenever someone says they want to gain muscle, again, no offense to my ladies, but a lot of ladies say, I don't want to gain muscle, I don't want to look bulky, I just want to tone. Whenever you're toning, you actually are gaining muscle, but you're losing body fat also. So it's just the different terminology that people use to kind of just to kind of almost like, again, it's a little clickbait, to be honest. They just want to kind of go over what that means and how to actually get the proportions that you want a little bit. Now, a couple of things. You can't spot reduce fat. I hate to say it, you cannot spot reduce fat. The best way to think about it is fat is more like water compared to jello in a container. So I'm just going to go ahead and take you. So, this is going to be representative of our body. See, it's a bowl of water. Okay? Now, a lot of people think that whenever you lose weight, you're going to lose weight here, or you're going to lose weight here, or you're going to lose weight here. When in actuality, if this is your exercise and this is your body fat, you're going to lose weight everywhere. Okay? You're going to lose weight anywhere. So, but genetics wise, some people have genetics where they kind of lose fat a little bit easier in their face or in their stomach or their arms or their legs. So for those people, they can quote unquote spot reduce fat just because of how their genetics are. However, you can't spot reduce fat. Fat loss is more like a bowl of water compared to jello. Like if you have jello, if you scoop it out in one area, you're only taking the jello out of that one area. Unfortunately, that is not how the body works. Again, the body is more like a bowl of water compared to jello. Now, one thing I will say is in regards to toning your muscle. Again, as you're losing fat everywhere. But if you're gaining muscle, you can gain muscle, and it gets closer to the skin, so it makes the skin makes you look a little bit more muscular, makes you look a little more quote unquote tone. So that is where that terminology tone comes from. It's just a fancy way of saying. It's just a fancy way. Sorry about that. It's just a fancy way of saying, hey, I want to lose body fat percentage, and I want to be in a low enough body fat percentage that I can see the muscle that I developed. So, ladies, don't be afraid to lift heavy. You're not gonna look You're not gonna look like a man. I know I hear that all the time. Like, I don't want to gain too much muscle. I don't want to look bulky. I want to look like a man. Unless you're on some super supplements, to be honest. Unless you're on some super supplements, you're not going to look like a man. You're not going to grow a beard like me. You're not going to develop a giant Adam's apple. If that would happen, then there'll be a lot more women having a nicer beard than I do. But ladies, do not be afraid to lift heavy, relatively heavy. I'm not saying have to do 1 rep maxes all day, every day, but don't be afraid to lift heavy. Because in order to look the way that you want to, with the curves, with the with the lower body fat percentage and things like that, you have to lose a little bit of body fat. You have to gain muscle also. It's a culmination of things. So don't be afraid to lift heavy, ladies. And again, tone is it's a clickbait word. To me, and to a lot of other people, whenever people say tone, it's more of a athletic, lean build. You look like you exercise, you look like you work out, but you look like you're healthy, if that makes sense. Tone is a word that would be like, how can I put it? Yeah, that's probably the best way I can put it. It's like, you exercise, you don't look malnourished, you look like, okay, I'm good. Look like you have some muscle, but you don't look like, it's like you only eat salad all day, every day. It's okay to lift heavy. It's okay to do your cardio. And again, your body will lose fat where it wants to, when it wants to, how it wants to, based off of your genetics and based off of the work that you put in. Now, slight caveat with that, depending on how much you work those muscles, you can actually build muscles a little bit faster in certain areas. So let's say if you specialize, if you're a cyclist, a lot of cyclists have very, very big legs, but upper bodies may not be as big in comparison. That is a way that you can kind of spot gain muscle, if you will. Again, it's all sports specific. Whenever you're doing that, again, let's say you get really big legs, so your legs are a little more muscular than your upper body, so on and so forth. So you can say your legs could be a little bit leaner. Again, it also just depends on genetics. So blame your parents. I'm sorry to say it. You have to blame your parents if you're not losing weight where you want to, when you want to, how you want to. It's all genetics, how your body is proportioned out, if you will. Yeah, I know I'm saying I'm kind of just going off the dome a little bit. But yeah, you can't spot reduce fat. That's the worst thing. People are like, I want to lose weight here. I want to lose weight here. I want to lose weight here. That's not how the body works. You can gain muscle in certain areas depending on how hard you work them. You can work on your lacking areas, so you can build the muscle hypertrophy, or again, depending on how you want to use the terminology, you can tone the muscle in certain areas depending on how you work those areas. But you cannot spot reduce fat. So it's almost like saying you can spot gain muscle, but you can't spot reduce fat. I know it sucks. That's just how the body works. Trying to think if there's anything else that would be important to talk about with this subject, because it's a touchy one for a lot of people. My finger's all in the camera. This is a kind of a touchy one for a lot of people, because again, particularly New Year's coming around. Everyone's like, New Year, new me. I want to lose this much weight in this amount of time. That's another thing, is being okay with your weight loss progression and track your progress. I mentioned in a previous video, or I am going to mention another video, that write down everything that you're doing. There's a saying that I heard: if you're not tracking, you're lacking. So track what you're doing, so you know how to make progress. When, like, if you're making progress, if you're not making progress, to know what you need to alter in your overall training protocol, in your overall nutrition protocol, in your recovery, things of that nature. So let's say if your goal is to lose 30 pounds next year. Okay, that's a good goal for a lot of people. But let's say if you lost 15 pounds, are you going to be mad, like, dang, I didn't get to my goal? It may be upsetting a little bit, but you're better than where you were. You're learning from what you did last time. It's like, okay, I did this last time, I didn't do this last time. How can I improve this? How can I make sure that I am getting closer to my goal? So you're looking at how much you're exercising, your recovery. We're looking at if you're putting too much stress on your body and saying, I want to lose fat only in this area. Because again, as we just mentioned, fat is more like water compared to Jello. Again, sorry to say it, but that's just how the body works. Again, certain things that you can do to adjust your body proportions. Again, work on your overall cardio, work on your nutrition. That's gonna help reduce your body fat percentage. Then you can add some muscle in different areas. I say don't skip an area, but if you have an area that needs a little bit more work, then you want to put a little bit more focus on that area. But I wouldn't say neglect your body. In a previous video, I was talking about some of the big important things to do. You want to have a pushing exercise. You want to have a pulling exercise. You want to have a squatting exercise. You want to have an exercise that's going to engage your core. You want to have an exercise that's probably going to bring your hands overhead, so you're working your shoulders. Again, just focusing on those things is going to get all the major muscle groups in your body in conjunction. And particularly if you're doing them standing, then you actually get a little bit more bang for your buck. Because again, whenever you're standing, your core has to engage. If you're standing and doing a pressing action, if you notice, your stomach has to engage before you can press the implement that you're pressing. If you notice, if you're doing a pulling exercise, your stomach has to engage in order to pull the implement properly, so you're not hurting yourself. Again, that's how the body works. Again, that's just what it does. So if you want to get the best bang for your buck, if you're able to, do your exercises standing with implements that are kind of like free free roaming, if you will. And what I mean by that, I mean like, your barbells, your kettlebells, your dumbbells, things of that nature. I will say it takes a little more of expertise to use implements like that because of how mobile they are. However, once you're getting the hang of the exercise, your body has to work those small stability muscles and stabilizer muscles. So you're actually, working a little bit more with doing the same exercises, if that makes sense. Again, more bang for your buck. So if you want to, again, get the best bang out of your buck, if you really want to tone your muscles, don't be hard on yourself when you're actually on your weight loss journey. You can't spot reduce fat. Fat is more like water compared to Jello. You can spot gain muscle, if you will. You can't, again, based off of your genetics, how your body works, how you work out, you can increase muscle hypertrophy in certain areas. Muscle hypertrophy, just how your muscle grows. You can improve that in certain areas, again, depending on how you train, your rest, your recovery, and your genetics. I hope that answers some very basic questions. If there's any other questions, comments, concerns about weight loss, how to burn fat, difference between fat loss and weight loss, that's another thing. So weight loss, when people think about weight loss, they just think about burning fat. Those are two different things, technically speaking. So weight loss is an overall number. So last time I weighed myself was like 192 pounds. So weight loss is me going from 192 to 188, not caring if it was fat, if it was water, if it was muscle. That's just weight loss in general, just by the term. Fat loss is actually dropping your body fat percentage. So whenever you're dropping your body fat percentage, again, that's the water example. And that's also when you drop your body fat percentage, there's less covering between the skin and the muscle, so you actually appear more muscular. That's why a lot of people, if you notice, let's say if you're looking at one of your favorite actors, they're about to prepare for a movie. Whenever they're losing weight, they look really, really muscular. It's like, this guy looks huge, but they're 20 pounds smaller. It's because they're dropping body fat percentage compared to actually dropping body weight. They will drop body weight, but they're also focusing more on that body fat percentage. Again, the less cushion you have between your muscle and the skin, the easier it is to actually show that muscle. You may be a smaller weight, but you actually appear bigger because there's less fluff between the skin and the muscle, if that makes sense. So again, if you want to, I can go into a little more detail on another video about that. But again, just wanted to chat with you guys a little bit, talk about the difference between weight loss, fat loss, spot reducing fat, toning muscle, things of that nature. Again, if there's anything else, drop some comments in the chat. I love to chat with you guys. If there's any other questions, comments, concerns, again, there's gonna be a playlist on the side. Check out some of these other videos on the playlist, and yeah, chat with y'all later. All right, bye.